Sharma. What's up, guys? Fucking hell, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Periera just fucking knocked Jiri the fuck out with a head kick after dropping him at the end of round one. This breakdown is going to be probably quicker because I have to get to fucking work pretty soon and I got to get this video out. But I'm going to talk about every single fight on the card, recap the whole card, give my thoughts as well. I did very well on predictions, 12-1. I got one fight wrong on this card, which we'll talk about in a bit. But yeah, let's get into it. There's also some crazy shit with the Lopez and Ige situation. I'll talk about that too. But yeah, let's get started with the main event. So Alex Periera, the conversation needs to happen. This dude is just too good. Like, he's unbeatable you can't beat this dude on the feet. At light heavyweight, this guy's power is different. Like, you can't stand with him. I know the first fight had some controversy around the ending. No fucking controversy around this one. I was kind of thinking, because after the head kick, I'm like, you could stop that, but I'm like, Herb probably in the back of his mind is like, I don't want anyone criticizing me for this stoppage and ruining the card. So he's like, all right, I'll let him take a few extra shots. Jiri was wobbled bad when he got up. Initially, like, I was watching with my mate, and my mate was like, is that a little bit early? I was like, no, bro, what the fuck? Because Jiri stood up, was wobbling all over the place, fell forward, nasty head kick. But first round, this was very similar to the Jamal Hill fight in terms of really no moments for the other guy. Like, Jiri didn't do a whole lot of anything. He has some clinch control up against the fence. He landed like a couple shots, like he landed some shots, but at no point, this was not like the first fight where there was moments where Jiri was pressing him up against the cage, landing some good shots, rocking him a little bit. None of that. This was pretty much all Alex Periera, one of the best performances of the year in terms of just a pure performance. Beside the knockout, just there was no moments for Jiri. Just a flawless performance from Alex Periera. On the feet, this dude is just unbeatable. He's him. And I don't want him to fight Uncle Live because there is a chance Uncle Live just resorts to inbred tactics, which he kind of has to. Look, would it be very boring if that happened and he won? Yes. Would I blame him? Not at all. Because if you stand with this guy, you're getting fucking head kick KO'd, you're getting left hook KO'd. This guy has shown off. He basically KO'd Jiri twice in this fight because he KO'd him with that left hook, let's be honest. At the end of the first round, if there's 5 seconds more, 10 seconds more, Jiri does not recover from that shot. That was not like in the first fight where he got dropped and then had to get follow-up elbowed and it was an early stoppage. Like, just that shot alone, if there was 5 seconds left, Herb probably would have stopped that and we could have seen like a walk-off KO, honestly. But regardless, he did what he needed to, goes out there pretty much straight away, like 10, 15 seconds into the second, switch, head kick, KO, bang, out cold. Well, not out cold, follow-up shots, probably not required, but they finished the job. Alex Periera once again proving black magic and shaman rituals are the best base for MMA. Also, just being a kickboxer and having no MMA background, also a very good base for MMA. But yeah, like, Jiri didn't really shoot like a full takedown. Like, I was in MMA Guru's stream afterwards. I wanted to see what he was saying because I know he picked Jiri. I went in there afterwards and he's like laughing, being like, it's crazy how you could train MMA for this long and not shoot a takedown. Like, bro, Jiri's not a fucking wrestler. Like, you picked Jiri by TKO on the feet in your breakdown. Why are you going like, oh, why didn't you shoot a takedown? Like, he's not a wrestler, bro. And he shot the takedown in the first fight. Periera got up, KO'd him in the second. This time, KO'd him in the second again. Jiri didn't shoot. Bro, he's a striker. Like, what the fuck? It's like telling, like, I don't know, fucking... Oh, it's like telling O'Malley, bro, hey, wrestle. Like, what? It's like, oh, O'Malley, you're fighting a good striker, wrestle. Or like, oh, Peter Yan. Or even that's like not the best comparison. But you know what I mean? Like, you can't be like, oh, why didn't he wrestle? Like, it's just cope. But I just wanted to mention that. But crazy win for Periera. Got the bonus, of course. Definitely deserved one. In the post-fight interview, he thought there was 303k bonuses. He probably, like, got that translated for him, but then he probably didn't know that Dana actually said no to that. Dana said yes to 2 fight of the night, which they didn't give out. They gave out for 1 fight a night, but because there weren't really 2 fight of nights. But he probably gave Alex some extra money, to be honest. Crazy win, crazy KO. I don't really know what to say, to be honest. Periera was landing good leg kicks, good shots. He was landing some stiff jabs as well, which were nice. But yeah, it was the big shot right at the end. That left hook at the end of the first drops him bad. Periera, I think Jiri actually thought the fight was still going. And then second round, yeah, 15 seconds in, a little bit of feeling out, and then switch head kick, KO, done, bang, over. I can't wait for Izzy Adesanya to post his post-fight reaction, and then he's probably going to be like, he's probably gonna like re-record it, go back over it, and like do some editing, and then say like, bro, the head kick's open, and then Pereira's gonna head kick him, and he's like, I told you, and he's gonna just act not impressed, somehow find a way for him, like, I beat that guy one time, botched. Anyway, that was the main event. Sick win for Pereira. He's him. I don't know who beats him at light heavyweight. Jones probably wrestles him. Aspinall probably beats him, but he could just fucking aura max and I'm him his way max to a fucking literally just being the GOAT of the sport. That might happen. But let's move on to the co-main event. Diego Lopez fought not Brian Ortega, because Brian Ortega pulled out. He fought Dan Ige on fucking 4 hours notice. And if you checked my community post, real ones know, I knew about this. I told you guys a good like hour and a half, 2 hours before it actually got announced on the broadcast. I knew. So can confirm, no, my dad is not Hunter Campbell, but I do have sources. So yeah, that's why you got to stay tuned on this channel, boys. That's why you got to put the notifications on, because, you know, you get the info here before anywhere else. So that's all I'm going to say. Yeah, what's it called? Fucking Lopez and Ige. Good fight. Fair, like, look, I'm not gonna, no one can really judge Lopez. Like, I saw some people saying, like, oh, decent fight, but Ortega definitely would have smoked him. Like, Ortega and Dan Ige are very different styles. I know, Ortega's very difficult to finish too. Dan Ige never been finished on the ground or on the feet. And he really doesn't get dropped and shit that much either. And also, massive change-off in opponents. Lopez was probably just like, what the fuck am I doing? Probably preparing for some grappling. Just goes out there, fights Dan Ige, wins the first 2 rounds comfortably. Gassed a bit in the third, understandable, fair enough. Dan Ige didn't have to go through a weight cut. Remember, Lopez had to cut to 145, then rehydrate. And then, like, bro, this guy went through so fucking much, like, different changes in mindset of, like, okay, I'm doing this, and now I'm doing this, and now, what the fuck? Now I'm fighting Dan Ige. Now I'm fighting a completely different opponent. Like, I'm not going to judge Lopez for this. Look, did he look tremendous? No. But was it also the most scuffed fucking setup for a fight you'll ever see? Yes. And also, Dan Ige is not a guy that just gets smoked by a lot of people. Like, I think he arguably beat Bryce Mitchell. Like, the Cater fight he lost to Cater. You know, the Emmett fight, like, this guy fights very good opponents, and when he doesn't fight good opponents, he smokes them. So, like, Dan Ige, on this shorter notice, on this circumstance, still not a bad performance for Lopez. Both of them asked to fight on the Sphere. Dana White just confirmed post-fight interview. I just saw a tweet about it. Dana White said they would both get fights on the Sphere card. I think he said Lopez would get a top 5 opponent. So I'm guessing they're going to do Lopez versus Yair. That is, like, in my mind, I've not had this confirmed by sources, of course, because it's not booked, and, like, Dana White just said that they'll do a top 5 opponent. But think about it. Allen's fighting Giga, Movzar. I don't think that, maybe they do Movzar, but I think they go Yair, especially because it's on the Sphere. I'm guessing they're going to do Yair Rodriguez, Diego Lopez. That makes a lot of sense. Rodriguez coming off a loss. I think Ortega's just going to go up to lightweight. In my opinion, just remove him from the rankings. But yeah, great stuff. Really good credit to Dan Ige, though. Showed up, dog tough as always, didn't get finished, didn't get, like, badly rocked at all. Lopez was on his back, fishing for chokes, doing well, and I coughed. And then in the third round, Ige actually put it on him a little bit and had him hurt a couple times, had him gassing out. So good job from Dan Ige, looked good as well on such short notice. But I think we can kind of just chuck that, like, result. We can kind of just put it to the side and be like, okay, fair, let's just appreciate both of them stepping up, doing a good job, having a fun scrap. So yeah, good job to the both of them. Both going to fight on the Sphere card as confirmed by Dana White. I'm guessing Lopez versus Yair, and Dan Ige can fight fucking whoever. But yeah, let's move on though to the next fight. You know, on paper, if this fight doesn't happen, I'm undefeated on picks, but, you know, it did. But on paper, I choose to eliminate this fight from the record books and say that I'm 12-0 undefeated on picks. Anthony Smith lost to Roman Dolidze. Was the only fight on the card I got wrong on predictions. Very disappointing result. Also, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I'm nothing but honest. Yeah, my fucking stream cut out because I was illegally streaming this shit. Ended up having to fucking buy it because my stream kept cutting out. Illegal stream kept cutting out beyond belief. Literally caught nothing of this fight. I just saw a notification saying like score this round on Verdict. I went to Verdict to see what the fans thought. Round 1, comfortably-ish Roman Dolidze. A couple people had it for Smith on Verdict. Round 2, I saw some people actually had it at 10-8, so I'm guessing I saw like a few freeze frames while it kept cutting out. I'm just going to guess Smith was getting beat up on the ground, I assume. Third round, I think they were just standing and doing a whole lot of nothing on the feet. It was, I think, 29-28, 29-28, 30-27. So, yeah, fair enough. Roman Dolidze, now a top 15 fucking light heavyweight in the world. Kill myself. But, yeah, I'm going to go back and rewatch this fight if it's worth rewatching at all. I don't think it was. But, yeah, Anthony Smith loses, again, on paper. Not on paper. But I'm going to move on to the next fight. Next up, we had the women. Macy Chiasson won via TKO because Mayra Bueno Silva got cut over the eyebrow from a big elbow on the ground from Chiasson. So fair play to her. But she cut her open bad. And Chiasson and Bueno Silva had like a fucking whole slit over her eyebrow. It was cooked. You could actually like see the fucking veins and shit in her head. It was nasty. So definitely, like, I know some people say don't stop fights because of cuts. In some circumstances, I don't hate it. Also, I got my pick right, so I don't hate it. Chiasson lost the first round though, from what I saw. This again, stream was cutting out. But yeah, I don't know. It's women. Who cares? It didn't go to the decision, so that's why I'm like, bro, just stop this fight and we don't have to see another round and a half of this. So I was all for it. But let's move on to another fight. Next up, Ian Cucciaro Gary gets the win again. And if you didn't watch the fight, you'd think he won by submission based off this photo, but he didn't. He won by decision, unanimous decision, won the first and the third round. I saw some people saying robbery. I really don't think there's that strong of a case for it. Like, yeah, sure, MVP landed like some shots on the feet, but Gary had his back standing for the last minute and a half. It just looks good to the judges. They're going to give you that round. Even when the decision was being read, MVP literally was like clapping and like knew that Gary won. They're gonna give it to you based off that. Yeah, sure, MVP landed some decent shots on the feet, but it's like damage based. If that was all that happened and there wasn't the grappling, then yeah, obviously MVP wins. But Gary took his fucking back and was fishing for chokes. In the first, he was really fishing for chokes. Almost got one. Fully had it under the neck. I must be so sorry with no fucking arm squeeze to be able to not get that choke. But fair play to MVP's defense. But second round, MVP was kept it on the feet. Comfortable win for him in round 2. No one's beating MVP on the feet, I don't think. Like, maybe Leon does. I don't think many people beat this dude on the feet. He's too fucking quick. He's too elusive. Really, Gary had nothing for him on the feet. Only really one. He went for a fucking leg lock in round 2, which was retarded. I'm like, bro, he really is Brazilian, eh? Going for leg locks even. But good job, Ian Gary. Continues the win streak. Fair play. Let's move on to the next fight. Joe the Salty Man Pyfer just dropped a fucking sodium bomb on Marc-Andre Barrial's chin and KO'd him in the first round. Nasty stuff from Joe the Salty Man Pyfer. Had a real salty interview as well. Real calling out the fans saying, you guys thought I was going to lose. Like, fuckhead, you were minus 300. Everyone was picking you. But fair enough. You do you. Got the big knockout. Got the bonus. Fair enough to Joe Pyfer. Called out Paul Craig. Bit of a soy call out, to be honest. But yeah, he rocked up, beat up Barrial bad. This guy just fucking throws heat. He's a ginger. He's got mad power. He's an angry, salty man. He's got power in those hands. And he knocked the fuck out of Marc-Andre Barrial in the first round. Fair play to him. Let's move on, though, down the card. Andre Fili versus Cub Swanson. I thought there was a pretty good argument for this fight to go Cub Swanson's way based off the last 2 rounds, but they gave it to Andre Fili. I didn't see the scorecards. It was a split decision, so I assume, because the second round was pretty clearly Cubs, so my guess would be, maybe I got that wrong, but one of the rounds was clear Cubs, first round was pretty clear Fili, so I'm guessing that split was based off, I think it was the third. Let me know if I'm wrong though. But it wasn't like a terrible robbery. Also, Cub kind of won a robbery decision in his last fight, so the universe sets itself straight. It was a fun fight though. It actually won fight of the night. Both of them were hurting each other at moments. There was some good action. Fili got some takedowns in there. A solid fight, good enough. Let's move on though, down the card. Got to do a quick recap here. I got to get to work. Gene Silva versus Charles Jourdain. Gene Silva became the first person to knock out Charles Jourdain. Very impressive stuff. I picked him to win. I was like, he's going to autism max his way to a W here. This card had a lot of autism on it, and I'm all here for it. But, what's it called? Yeah, it was a really good performance from Gene Silva. He did well in the first round. He had Jourdain real skittish. This guy's got power. These fighting nerds guys, him and Rufy, Barral's got some good power too, but these guys have some real good power. Jourdain got a couple takedowns in there, I think, in the first. Maybe he got one in the second, but Silva gets back up. Jourdain was on his leg, like on a single leg, trying to take down Gene Silva. Separates. Gene Silva frames on his head, lands a nasty uppercut, folds him. Didn't put him like unconscious, but it was a walk-off KO. Didn't need to follow up because Herb stepped in. Jourdain's eyes were in the fucking back of his head looking off into nowhere. Gene Silva, very autistic dude. Celebrations all over the place. Don't know what this guy's doing. I'm here for it. I love it. Put the glasses on Joe Rogan. Had a great time. Good stuff for Gene Silver. Apologise for missing weight. It was 1.5 pounds. It's not like he missed weight by 5 pounds. Yeah. Good win. Gene Silver, really good win. He's definitely legit. There were some questions around like, okay, this guy beat Weston Wilson, but who else? But no, this guy's actually real good. Let's move on though, down the card. Payton Talbert. I'm not calling this guy the real Sean O'Malley, but I am doing tricks on it like Lucas Tracy. But no, it was a very good performance. Fucking 20-second KO from Payton Talbert. Beat this dude up. Well, not beat him up, he just dropped him and whooped his ass for 20 seconds, or like 5 seconds, honestly. Gamori came out the gate with a fucking spinning kick, doing a whole lot of nothing. And then, I think he threw a leg kick, and then Talbot just drills him down the fucking pipe with a right hand, drops him bad. I think Gamori was like, is this fight not over? And then he had to just take a few extra shots. Good win, Payton Talbot gets the bonus, 20-second KO. Crushed the can, came in at minus fucking 1,600, looked like a minus 3,000, fair play. He's going to be a fucking massive favourite in it. He called out Yannis, good call, I make that fight, by the way. But, yeah, Talbot's legit, he's real good. Look, not saying that this fight proved he was legit, but this is like, you want to get extra confirmation. Like, if you go out there and struggle with this dude, if you take Yannis Gamori to a decision, even if it's like 30-27, you're like, all right, pump the brakes. But no, he did what he was supposed to. He knocked this dude the fuck out. Your opinion shouldn't change on him. Like, unless you weren't on the train and then you're like, okay, maybe I'm convinced now. But like, if you were on this train before this, you're not like more convinced. You're kind of like, this dude's got real power. This guy's got real precision. This dude's flashy as fuck. He's an entertaining striker. Really good stuff from Payton Talbot. Definitely a guy to watch at bantamweight. I don't know when they do him next, but all I'm going to say is, bro, they had Payton Talbot and Ian Gary fighting on the same card in Pride Month. They were both going to win. That should have been a parlay. I should have made that like a gimmick. The Pride Month parlay, done Ian Gary and then Payton Talbot would have cashed big. But yeah, let's move on down the card. Jillian Robertson, this fucking meth head Canadian, red fucking hair bullshit. I don't know. She beat up Jillian. No, she's Jillian Robertson. She beat up Michelle Waterson Gomez 30-27, 30-26, whatever. I thought it was fucking 30-24, to be honest. I thought every round was 10-8. Beat her up on the ground badly. Cut her open a few times. Had her bruised up. They gave Gomez a post-fight interview and a farewell send-off because she retired. Fair enough. You do you. It was actually one of the more fun fights on the prelims just because of how dominant it was, because the fight before this, which I'm about to talk about, was awful. Well, let's talk about that now. That fucking abomination. Obesity. Martin Bidet and Andrei Arlovski had a fat decision. I don't know if it was a split or unanimous. I assume it was split. I think it was like 29-28 each way, and then one scored at 30-27 for Bidet, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know. Who cares? Both a whole bunch of fatness going on. No one really did anything. Whole lot of clinching. Based refereeing for separating them. Should have done it more often, honestly. This was awful to watch. This hurt my soul. Let's move on down the card. Ray Saruya versus Carlos Hernandez. New Japanese dude in the flyweight division. Looks pretty good. Look, he's a bit green. His striking's not amazing. His jiu-jitsu needs some work. His wrestling is sick, though. This guy's got great takedowns, good top control. He won the fight against Carlos Hernandez. I think it was 29-28. It was close-ish at moments. Hernandez arguably did a bit more damage in round one just because he actually did have the slam. But the grappling exchange was cool. Saruya was actually looking for twisters at points. He was looking for leg submissions, all of that. This was a fun fight. I forgot a lot of it because the start of the card was ages ago. But really good win from Ray Saruya. Was a pretty sizable favourite. UFC clearly looking to build some of these new Japanese guys. And, he's beaten Mexicans. So, Carlos Hernandez, without a win over a Japanese fighter now, 0-2 against them. They, honestly, Ray Saruya, they just need to run the same pathway as they did Tyra. Just do Edgar Shiro next. Just do all these fucking Mexicans, and then we can see if Japanese people truly do hate the Latinos. But let's move on to the the early prelim opener. Opening up the card, Vinicius Oliveira versus Ricky Simone. This was my underdog, my big underdog pick of the card. I picked some other guys as underdogs, of course, but this was like the one that not many people I saw picked Oliveira, and he looked really good. He did well, looked great on the feet, won this fight 30-27 in my opinion. I don't know why Lucas Tracy thought Simone won, I guess blinded by Cope because he picked him. But no, Oliveira did way more damage on the feet. Simone really couldn't get many takedowns. He got some, but Oliveira got right back up. He really fixed the issues from his first fight, because that's why everyone was picking against him, because like, this guy's not stuffing takedowns. But I'm sure he's going to improve. You often don't look as good in your debut. He looked great. He's striking. I mean, look, I'm not saying he's the most refined striker ever, but it works. He's got his style that works for him. Real hands down, real weird, kind of loopy, out of position a lot of the time. He hit a fucking Rabono kick or whatever. I think I said that right. The one where you go behind your leg. Hit that kick too. He landed some really good shots on him. Even took Ricky Simone down at the end of the fight almost just to prove a point, to be like, fuck you. Your only way to win this fight was by wrestling, and I'm going to fucking take you down too, buddy. So yeah, he took him down a bunch. He beat him up on the feet a bunch, took him down at the end. Really good performance from Vinicius Oliveira. Hurt his leg bad in the second. I was worried because it was shooting him up, and then he kicked his leg, got checked, and I was like, fuck, is he going to TKO himself because he got his leg kick checked? But no, he recovered. Apparently his leg's real hurt, so probably won't see him back for a hot minute, but great performance from Vinicius Oliveira. Arguably could be like a fucking top 15 guy now, just because Ricky Simone is like pretty much top 15 bantamweight. So great win from Vinicius Oliveira. Yeah, that's the card done, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. 12-1 on picks. Really happy with that. Fucking, of course, Anthony Smith. But not 302, but the pay-per-view before that, 301, I also went 12-1 on picks. And that time, the one pick I got wrong was picking against Anthony Smith, and then he won against Petrino. This time, my one wrong pick was picking for Anthony Smith. So, Anthony Smith is the new curse of this fucking channel. Anytime I'm sweeping the card on picks and Anthony Smith is coming up, just bet on the result that I didn't pick. But yeah, let's move on to the end of the video. I don't know why I'm saying let's move on. That's the card done, guys. Got to get off to work. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments as well. And again, Mystic Left Lane, bro. I got those sources. You better know that. But yeah, peace out, guys.